Hello everyone, my name is Ana Maria Carrera and this is my ID. Okay, in this video I will explain about 6 cases of agreement and 3 governments. Using a real text based on my story of how I handled indiscipline in class. On this first slide is this story that I had told you. And as you can see, there are sentences that are highlighted in different colors. Yellow for a case of agreement, light blue for a normative case, fuchsia for a genitive case, and green for accusative case. So let's read the text, okay? A case of disciplining in the EF class. This is a case that happened to me a long time ago. When I started teaching English at the private high school, the majority of the students were 16 years old, and only one of the group of students was 18 years old. In this history, we will call Juan. When I entered in the classroom for the first time, I noticed that Juan was the tallest student in the classroom. Juan and Marina was sitting on the first bench. When the two students started laughing out loud, then I stopped the explanation. Quickly, I approached them and within a fair voice and asked them, "Can you tell the joke to all of us?" They automatically fell silent. And in the story time, Juan and Marina started laughing again. In this second time, I asked them to stand up, and when Juan, as well as Marina, stood up, the hearing aids fell into the floor. While I was staring into their eyes, I asked them to give me the headphones, please. And neither he nor she was willing to give me the hearing aids. So I called the inspector and asked him to take Juan from the classroom, but no Marina. And I told Marina that during my class time, she will have to sit somewhere else. I asked the inspector to Juan's mother or father attends a meeting with me the next day to talk about Juan's attitude. The next day, Juan's mother spoke with me in the kind and direct manner. I told her, "I believe that you pay you a monetary pension for your son's education. However, I am afraid to tell you that he is not taking advantage of the teaching, because in my class time, they were listening subtype of audio together with another student that made them loud, affecting a larger percentage of students who were listening to class." With her head down, she responded that it was not the first time that they had called her attention in this way, and she not the first. And she warned Juan that if he has these types of problems again, she will take away his cell phone for a month. In this way, I solved a very common case in the classroom of that school. That when there was the parents meeting, the parents of the students approached me to congratulate me for having been firm with Juan, since all the boys knew how to behave inside in the English classroom. Because Juan's mother had told them what happened. Okay, we talk about the agreement in the means that we talk about the relationship between the different elements of the sentence phrase, excuse me. And that is how noun or noun phrases and adverbs or adverbial phrases agree. For example, we know that when we use the pronoun she, we must use the third singular form of the verb to be, which is, and not am. Or what happens with the verb to be, to have? That in the present tense, we must use has for a third person, the singular. Okay, and for this is the government by 6 ways that we will analyze with our examples. According to the order of the text, I am going to explain each case for the case that indicates. If the noun is after the word of, it either is singular. We must use the singular verb. And if the noun is plural, is in our example, the verb is in plural form. In this case, it applies to word like percentage of, fraction of, a majority of, sum of, etc. No, in this case, the majority of students were 16 years old. As we see this first example, the non-student is plural. For this reason, we use the verb were, in which is the plural form of the verb to be in the past tense, okay? In this case of agreement, we must look at the subject. If this subject is plural, even though the prepositional phrase has a plural noun, the verb will be written in singular form. And if the subject is plural, then the verb will be written in the plural form tense. In the sentence, only one of the group of the students was 18 years old. The subject is only one of the group. That is mean that the subject, student, in this case, the subject is singular, while the prepositional phrase of the group has a plural noun. This doesn't affect the form of the verb that remains singular in this example. Was is the past tense of the verb to be on the third singular person, okay? Excuse me. In this case, it's quite simple, no? In this example, Juan and Marina are the subject and that can clearly be tempered by them for this reason if the subject has plural or singular nouns connected by and. And the verb will always go in its plural form. In our example, Juan and Marina were sitting on the first bench. The verb were is in the past tense of the verb to be in its plural form. In this case of agreement, okay, if it's the subject is singular and is separated by phrases such as along with or as well as, it must agree with the subject that is it most singular no? In our example, Juan as well as Marina stood up. Juan is the subject and is in the singular. For this reason, the verb is in the past singular form. To clarify the issue, this case, no, the verb would change to stands up if these sentences were in the present tense. Then the sentences will be Juan as well as Marina stands up. Okay, in this case, we are going to agree the verb with the pronouns or nouns close to the verb, which are part of the subject that contains or, either or neither nor. For example, neither he nor she was willing to give me, no? The pronoun she is the closer to the verb was. And before this pronoun, we have the words neither nor. For this reason, the verb is in the singular past tense form. This case is very similar to the previous one, but here we focus on the subjects that are connected by or, either or neither nor. If the two subjects are singular, then the verb will always be singular. In this example, Juan's mother or father attends a meeting with me. The two subjects, the mother and the father, uh, are connected by the word or. So the verb that follows them will always be in the singular form. In this case, the verb attend is the third person of singular, attends. Governments, okay. As is the color or a skill color in English language case, refers to the relation between a word and whether it is a noun or pronoun and its dependence. Taking into account that nouns are and pronouns can take on grammatical functions such as subject or object, depending on the place they occupy in the sentence. No, so for this reason, we talk about three cases. The first case, nominative or subjective cases. In this case, refers to the noun or pronouns uses as subject of the sentence. In this example, you can see the relationship of noun, Juan, being the subject of the sentence, and linking ways in the example below where I is a pronoun that is the subject of the sentence. Okay. The genitive or possessive case. In this, the grammatical case that marks a word, usually a noun, or as a modifier of another word or another noun, indicate a relationship of possession. No? In this case, of apostrophe s is usually used as well as the word of, for example, Juan's mother spoke with me. In this example, the noun phrase Juan's mother functions as the subject and demonstrates position. That is not Juan we are talking about, but rather his mom. In the example below, in my class time, the possessive determiner my also modifies the noun class, specify the time of the place in which something occurred. No? We also call this genitive case. In this case, refers to when the objective nouns or pronouns reside to the action in the sentence. Types of the objects in the sentence, direct, indirect, and oblique, And this case will also have those variants. Let's see an example when it is a direct object. In the example is I approach them. Okay, in this case, is the object pronoun where is the action of the proaction false, no? So the word them can be replaced by two nouns and connector. And in this case, we could replace with John and Marina. Even so, those nouns will be function as a case accuser. And to finish, I have example when the object pronoun them words and indirect object in the sentence. Juan's mother had to them what happened. To find out what the indirect object we ask. Who did Juan's mother tell what had happened? We answer to them. For this reason, to them is the indirect object. Okay, thank you so much for your attention on my video. And this is my references. Goodbye.